Hey, what up, everybody? It's Pastor Mark from Fierce Church. If you're receiving this, it's because you're part of the Fierce family. You might even live far away, but you're still part of the family. I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. If I don't see you this Christmas, don't think I'm not thinking Merry Christmas in your direction. Hey, one of the movies that my family watches during Christmas is The Polar Express. You remember this is the one where the kid, part of the conflict is he can't hear the bells, right? He goes all the way to the North Pole. He even sees all the elves and Santa. Spoiler alert, all this happens. But he can't hear the bells that everybody else seems to hear. People coming to Christ is kind of like hearing the bells, okay? When you come to faith in Christ by grace through faith, suddenly Jesus is born in your heart. You get born of the Spirit, born again, and suddenly everything makes a whole lot more sense. I remember when I could hear the bells, so to speak, for the very first time. I was 18, and it came around Christmas time, and suddenly, all of the Christmas songs made more sense. It was like, do you see what I see? Oh, I do now. Now I understand that Jesus forgives me personally. It's not just about humankind. I have a personal relationship with him, and he has let me out of my debt. I bet that you've got people that you would love it if they could hear the bells this Christmas. And let's just own, for many of us, there was a Christmas we didn't hear the bells. And then there was a Christmas that we did because God is gracious, because people were intentional in our lives. Here's what we know. We can't make anybody hear the bells. All we can do is get them around places where they might start hearing the bells. And that's why it's so important to invite people to a Christmas Eve worship experience wherever you are, because this might be their year. Maybe this is the year when suddenly, boom, those bells come crystal clear into their ears. Their heart is filled with love and fire and the recognition and knowledge that they're forgiven. So let's just not float past this. It's not a big deal to try to leverage Christmas Eve to help people hear the bells for the very first time. Remember, there's nothing you can do. You don't have to feel pressure to make them hear the bells, and it might be 3 Christmas Eves from now that they finally hear the bells. All you and I have to do is be faithful to open the door, to invite people to come with us, to hear a life-changing message about Christ. And you never know, like at Fierce at least, there's going to be a candlelight service. You never know how many people they're just excited about the idea of a candlelight Christmas Eve. Even if they don't totally get the Christmas thing, that just sounds cool to them. So I want to encourage you, make sure you send out those invites. But there's one more thing we want to think about. After we're all done, after everything happens on Christmas Eve, we're going to be sitting back, we're going to be sipping our eggnog or your drink of choice, whatever you're going to be drinking. And there's going to be people that heard the bells for the very first time, or they just thought it was cool enough that they would come back. It's on us. This is where we might potentially drop the ball. It's on us to invite them back for the next month, the next series. We don't meet the exact next weekend, but the weekend after that, we start meeting again. It's on us to say, hey, it's awesome that you heard the bells. Now let's talk about growing up and growing powerful. We're starting a brand new series in January, Strangers Here. You've heard of Stranger Things. We're doing Strangers Here. There's going to be a brand new Connect class. There's going to be a brand new Grove. There's all kinds of ways. There's just little hooks for people to I can grab on here. And even if this one isn't right for me, this thing might be right for me. But it's on us to we don't have to force anybody, but just, hey man, you came to this thing. Maybe you consider coming to this thing that we're having in January. Or maybe they couldn't come to Christmas Eve, but now they'll come to the January thing. We want to know, it's salvation for anybody is not on us. It is on Jesus. But Jesus chooses to fish for people through people. And he wants to use us this Christmas Eve, but also this January to help people come in to his family so that they can hear the bells just like I did, just like maybe you did. And it's going to be a really awesome miracle. So be praying for me, be praying about that. I'm praying for you. We'll see you guys soon. Merry Christmas.